Hey everybody, good afternoon and happy Monday. So we're coming to you live, Abby and me. We are driving at the moment, so I figured I would make a quick, video. And I'm not really sure what my last one was talking about, but I want to keep going on funeral service and how it should come from the heart. Granted, a lot of funeral homes have tenure, decades upon decades of family involved in the industry, and great-great-grandfathers starting the funeral service, the funeral home in the industry, and how it's just kind of plopped sometimes in somebody's lap and says, here you go, this is a $1.2 million business and I'm giving it to you, go to school, get your license, it's yours, with a starting salary of maybe $150,000. Now, that's not coming from the heart. That's saying, here's a golden spoon. You were born with a golden spoon in your mouth, That's not great because the heart's not in it. It's just for the money. And this industry, although it can be very lucrative, it has to be heart driven. It has to be driven from the heart. And what I mean by that is this. You can't just have Joe Schmo running a funeral home. Granted, he could probably do it, but if it was given to him by his father who, his father and his father and his father started it, and his father ran it, like great-great-great-grandfather started it. There's tradition there, yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's coming from the heart, okay? It's just a business opportunity, and more often than not, he'd be in it for the money. Now, granted, if my father started a funeral home, and it was in my heart to do it, I would jump at that opportunity. I would start from the ground up, and knowing that one day I would own this business and run it, And that's where I think funeral services are headed. Like I've said, I've done this professionally for a little while now. Granted, I'm not doing it much at the moment. I want to get back into it, but I also want to educate families before they start to look for a funeral home. And if any of you are following, my company on Facebook or whatever, Florida Funeral Consulting, I do just that. I consult families that have had a loss or will have a loss, if there's an imminent death coming or approaching. Like, I want to educate them as to what their options are. And nobody really does that. If they get you into a funeral home, they want to keep you, so they're going to promise you the world, okay? And that's what they do. A consulting business merely educates the public, educates the families before they make a decision. You go over pricing options with them, casket options with them, service options with them, what they need, what they don't need, what they may want but can't afford, what they absolutely need to have, and what they might not want to have. Needs versus wants, can't afford versus can't afford, things of that nature. And I think it's a very important thing that I'm trying to do, and I know some other colleagues of mine in different states are doing it, and they've been very successful. And it's just important. It's important to me, and it's driven by the heart. I didn't have to do this. I just thought, well, there's a need for it. I'm big on Shark Tank. I don't know if you've ever watched Shark Tank, and you guys, I love Shark Tank. And Robert, he's the guy at the end who has the wavy hair. He's said on more than one occasion that it's not a business at first. There has to be a need. If there's a need, the business will come after that. The business will follow. And I absolutely believe that. If there's a need for something, then you kind of figure out how to satisfy that need, come up with a solution, and the business aspect will follow. He's 100% right on that. So getting back to funeral services, It has to be from the heart. Don't let it drive you by money. Don't let it be a monetary, gain for you. That will come. If it's done right, that will come. It has to be driven by the heart to successfully service families at their time of need. Now, I can't stress that enough. At their time of need is a very vulnerable time in their life, because if there wasn't a need for it, they wouldn't be there in the first place. Whether or not a death has occurred, a death will happen, guaranteed. So they're there shopping, or they're there just wanting more information, looking at caskets, pricing you out, whatever it is. You have to be driven by the heart, and don't be driven by greed, because with greed only comes bad things, and that's more greed. And once you get greedy, it's very, very difficult to stop. And I'm telling you this kind of from experience. I've done well over my years in the funeral home, and with what I've done, and quite frankly, greed starts to run your life. And I'm telling you, if it wasn't for my heart being in this business, I probably wouldn't be in it. I probably wouldn't like it or anything like that. There has to be a heart in it in order to successfully succeed. Okay, so that's my rant about the services today. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Excuse me. Comment and share and like. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me here. Subscribe. I want to educate everybody, and I need your help to do it. So thank you so much, and I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Say bye, Abby. Say bye. Abby says bye. Bye-bye, y'all.